The misunderstanding caused results in a moral panic within the youth. The fear and anxiety produces utopian and dystopian rhetoric. This thinking that scholars call technical determinism assumes that all people in all situations are affected by technologies as they possess intrinsic powers. Dystopian Nation carries the idea that teens are addicted to social media. The widespread adoption of these technologies produces a negative vision that this will ruin everything. The utopian idea argues that technology will solve inequality and, when broadly adopted, will transform society in magnificent ways. However, these extreme views do not exactly give a realistic picture of what will happen when new technologies are broadly adopted. Technologies, especially within today's generation, is seen as a solution to world problems. However, when the technology fails to provide solutions, people become disillusioned and even divert their focus on the negative that the technologies have caused.
It gives you like an escape kind of thing. Like it lets you escape from the reality. And like once you go into social media, you can do what you want. Okay, within legal terms, you can do what you want. You can talk to people that you want to talk to. You can watch what you want to watch. I think we're addicted to what's on the gadget because the phone itself is just the platform where we can access these gadgets more easily. So, like with my phone, even though I don't have internet, there's not much I can do with my phone. So it's the social media.
That's true, but at the same time, I believe that gadget does make a difference. So, for example, some gadgets don't provide you enough applications, I guess, to browse, and whereas other applications have more benefits to it, so I would rather use that gadget instead of the other one, just because it has more things inside the gadget. So I feel like in conclusion it depends on what's on the gadget.
Compared like when we were around 8 years I think, the BlackBerry was a big wave and like it was the best phone then, but looking back at it now, we couldn't really do much apart from message each other. BBM. You couldn't really browse the internet, you couldn't really find stuff with your phone. But now, because technology is advanced and there's a lot of convergence and synergy within different gadgets, it's become a lot easier. So I feel it's a bit
of both.
It kind of swayed me, so it's a bit of both.
Yeah, it just depends on what's the trend at the moment.
Social networking sites on the device carry features such as status updates, activity feeds, live streaming, and much more. These tools of communication on social media help teenagers communicate and stay connected through Web 2.0. This means that websites are designed to rely on the participation of mass groups, which a survey in 2009 by Lenhart found that 73% of teenagers actually use social networking sites, concluding that they use it in large numbers. Augustus and Abbas state that the use of social networking sites are used to keep in touch with friends rather than the actual device.
Because it's so much easier to write something on Twitter than actually talking to someone, if that makes sense. Like, you can put your word across and no one can judge you because it's your social media, it's your Twitter, it's your Instagram, it's your Facebook. No one can have the right to say, no, you can't post that. Whereas if you're talking to someone in real life, they'd be like, no, you're wrong, blah, 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 and you're just having a debate. Whereas you can just like write something and it'll be there for forever.
Donath and Boy 2004 both argue about how individuals reflect their social identity within public spaces. For example, attending and holding parties in order to show off to friends, allowing themselves to create a positive social identity online. Just appearing in public is seen as a display of connection. However, many teens feel the need to hang out at public spaces, such as bars, clubs, etc., some of which they are restricted to. Adult supervision also harms their social identity within their friends, as seen as a restriction on the teens' freedom.
And at any time, so you're not just limited. For example, people have curfews, they can't go out anymore and they can't do much. That's why probably they come back home and they go on social media again to reconnect with people.
Teens within this generation turn towards social media as it is an important place for youth to develop their personal identity. Their use of technology means that they can mediate their friends and partners, etc. These online communities allow teens to communicate and socialize with friends they may not hang out with in public spaces. The influence of these people on social practices they engage with ignites concerns within adults. Eto et al. Argues that just like public spaces, for example parking lots, malls, etc., where the older generation used to hang out, the network space serves the same purpose to teens within this generation for gossip, banter, supporting one each other, etc.
People create like a different persona on social media. They can sort of edit what they put out and edit what they don't put out, and you can't do that in real life if you're having a conversation with someone as much.
Well, like I wouldn't go personally and stalk someone in real life, whereas like on Instagram and Twitter it's more easier and accessible, so I would just go and stalk, which I enjoy. Like that's what I do in my spare time, all these famous YouTubers and stuff, but I don't think I would do that in personal life, which kind of creates a debate between if stalking is okay on social media.
So that's where you draw the line between distorted and real life.
Adults often forget that just as they grew up in a different environment to their parents, teens within this generation have grown up surrounded by communication technologies, making them a unique population of social networking users. Ito et al. 2009 does observe that even through technologies teens use and communicate with is clearly new. However, the mediated activities they participate in is similar to the past. However, another theorist named Boyd and Ellison argue that display for friends on an individual social networking page is what differentiates social networking from previous medias.
I feel like they didn't grow up around it, or they didn't get used to it. So when they see social media, when they see you always on your phone and stuff, they're like, what are you doing this time? Like, what do you want?
It's because they're used to like a different environment, and when they see us using it, they kind of feel like it's a waste of time.
And, like my parents always like back in the day we used to run around, we used to help around, like you're always on your phone kind of thing. Generation likes to imitate what the adults or successful people do because they feel like they'll feel empowered themselves. Like 12-year-olds now do not look 13 or 12.
Yeah,
because of like the makeup and everything, and because they're dressing up to be adults. So I feel like they don't live out their childhood.
Take adults, whereas we lived our childhood trying to be a child.
Yeah.
Adults need to let go of their nostalgia in order to understand their youth. It's important for adults to understand why social media plays important assets within teens' lives as it represents new skills and ways of participating in the world. Jenkins argues that adults restrict students from contributing to online communities. They will lack necessary skills and technical literacy that will be vital in the future. Tefeki's studies have found that sexual harassment is really rare on social networking sites and appear more in chat rooms and instant messaging. Yabara and Mitchell argue that these concerns, including cyberbullying, create a moral panic for users, especially parents, as this ignites more fears within them about their child addicted to social media.
Facebook, Twitter and Instagram have like made us a society of stalkers. It could come back as a threat to you as well.
Yeah, because there's like stuff like stalking and people get catfished.
Lemke et al. States that the fears for students' online safety have caused approximately 70% of schools to block access. However, adolescent users have been given the control over who views their profiles and the content they upload through privacy settings. The negative side of the internet and social communities can be the reason why parents and educators have a negative perspective of it.
I use Snapchat,
Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp
and Instagram the most. I'm obsessed. I'm on it like throughout the whole day, like probably 10 hours.
Me being like a computer science student, I feel like I'm connected to it even more. It opens my eye to how I shouldn't be addicted to it because
that's primary education. I'm gonna have children that have grown up with social media as their first thing. So when before they come,
They're going to give you a challenge
what are you gonna make us study?
of going 24 hours without using social media, any social media,
But today,
today.
that's gonna be very hard.
This
But
could be so hard. I was trying to go watch something when I went home.
She's crying!
that's going to be really difficult. I don't know if I can do it.
we can try it and we'll let you guys know how it goes.
See you there. Bye.
Basically, this is your goodbye to Snapchat.
Snapchat. I'm not gonna see you for a long time because I have to do this experiment with these people over there. But
Yep.
without social media.
You guys, it's been 4 hours and I haven't used any social media.
So all my friends at the moment are getting ice cream and like Snapchatting it, whereas I'm just sitting on here waiting by myself. The stress is real because I really want to go on
Are you
Snapchat.
recording this?
Yes, I am.
I'm doing my maths portfolio and I'm itching to go on social media but I can't.
It's been a real challenge, to be honest, because I've been so tempted to just unlock my phone, and that's the first thing I would normally do.
It's really difficult not going on Snapchat, posting what I bought, taking pictures, etc.
I find that not having social media is really difficult.
I've actually been communicating more with my parents, and I've got to actually speak to them more than I usually do and spend time with my brother.
Even like when we were doing things, I don't think I would have been paying more attention to what we were doing. I would have been just like seeing what's the latest update on everything.
It was a real good challenge, but it was so tempting not to go on my social media because it was such a bad habit.
Encouraged to do that.
Good, yeah. I really enjoyed it. It's the end of the day. I did find it hard, but if I can cope, anyone can, because like I'm a like social media addict. Like I'm obsessed with it. I would recommend anyone to experience life more to do it.
I'm so looking forward to going back to using my social media now. But yeah, I really enjoyed this experience.